Hello, my name is Ross Silver. I'm the CEO and founder of Silva International, and I'm here today with Tim Morris, the CFO of AcelRx. Mr. Morris, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Ross.
So today we wanted to catch Mr. Morris on the road here. Fortunately, he took time out of his day to speak with us to ask him some questions about AcelRx. So, Mr. Morris, if you would, could you just give us a brief overview on AcelRx?
Certainly, Ross. AcelRx is a company, especially a pharmaceutical company, really focused on two products for acute pain, and acute pain specifically in a hospital or medically supervised setting. Those two products, our lead candidate is a product called Suvia, also known as ARX04 outside of the United States, is a 30 microgram sublingual Sufentanil tablet, again, for moderate to severe acute pain. Our second product, Zalviso, is a little bit more sophisticated device, which is a drug-device combination which uses the same molecule, sublingual Sufentanil, and that is, again, for a post-operative setting, really meant to replace IV PCA morphine after major surgery. That product was approved and on the market in Europe and sold by our partner, Grunenthal.
Okay, thank you. And then you've chosen a sublingual or under-the-tongue version of sufentanil as your therapeutic ingredient. Why?
Sufentanil is a product that has been around since the mid-'80s, and it's been used mainly by anesthesiologists for either as induction for sedation or as part of a cocktail for epidural for labor and delivery. Sufentanil itself, though, in the injectable form, is not suitable for pain management. The pharmacokinetics of the product is that it comes on too quickly and it wears off too quickly, and that's not really sufficient for pain relief. So what our founder had done, Pamela Palmer, she took and put it in a sublingual form. The sublingual form is when it's placed under the tongue. Now, sufentanil is a molecule that likes fat. It's highly lipophilic, and so a sublingual form of that and placed under the tongue creates a nice depot and it allows the product to be absorbed into the bloodstream and cross the blood-brain barrier fairly quickly. But under the tongue, it acts like a depot or a patch. It gives you a very good sustained pain relief for about an hour and a half. And so that's something that you won't get with any injectable kind of formulation. So the sublingual qualities of sufentanil that are present in both Jovie and Zalviso are what really makes it suitable for pain management.
Okay, thanks. That's helpful. And then Dasuvia is your lead compound. Can you tell us a little bit more about Dasuvia?
Sure, Jovie is a 30 microgram dose. It really was created at the request of the Department of Defense. They had seen our founder, Pam Palmer, talk about the virtues of sublingual sufentanil and asked if she could formulate a product that is a pre-filled syringe that could replace the auto-injectors of morphine on the battlefield. So they've given us to date over $20 million. We've completed both the phase 2 and the phase 3 work. We worked with their medics in the field to come up with suitable packaging and suitable delivery system that really allows these medics to then place a tablet under the tongue of the injured soldiers and allows them nice, rapid pain relief over a good, sustained duration of time. The molecule itself, again, the sublingual form lends itself to a much better delivery system. When today's soldier is going to have a severe injury, they're going to lose lots of blood, and they will tend to go into shock. And so if they're trying to get their pain medication through injecting themselves in the thigh, then what happens is once those patients or soldiers get to a place where they've reperfused, then they get a big bolus of morphine, in this case, to the brain. So the sublingual form is much more suitable for today's injuries in the battlefield.
Thanks for that. And then you also have Zalviso, a follow-on product candidate to Dasuvia. Can you give us an overview on Zalviso?
Sure. Zalviso is a little bit more of a sophisticated product. It contains a cartridge of 15 microgram doses of sublingual sufentanil. It also comes in a very sophisticated delivery device. So we've often heard it described essentially as a PEZ dispenser because this is a product that allows the patients to dose themselves every 20 minutes. The concept behind patient-controlled analgesia, or PCA, is appropriate. Everybody's pain threshold is different. Everybody heals after surgery differently. So the fact that you can give the patient a device that they can dose themselves every 20 minutes as needed really allows for that recovery, and that is a benefit for the patient to be able to ambulate sooner. Again, this is a non-invasive form. Both Dasuvia and Zalviso, really you don't need IV. And so with IV comes complications. With IV becomes it's very difficult for patients to get up and around, especially following surgery. You want those patients to ambulate straight away. So Zalviso is going to be a nice follow-on product for us in the United States. It is approved and on the market in Europe, and we have been able to generate significant dollars from that collaboration.
Okay, and thank you for that. And just a final question for you, which is always the $1 million question, if you will, for investors, is why now? Why buy AcelRx now? I mean, I know the stock has moved a little bit here since the beginning of the year. It's up a little over 30% or close to 30%, and volume has picked up here. But if you were to tell the investor, what would be your sort of definition as to why now for AcelRx?
Sure. I think there's a couple things to consider. First of all, we are taking a formulation that is ripe for non-invasive therapy into a market that's very large. For example, in the emergency room, there's 50 million patients that show up annually with moderate to severe pain. Those patients are all suitable for Jovie. Second of all, we have filed the new drug application, which has now been accepted by the FDA. And so they're undergoing kind of a standard 10-month review. So from a risk reduction standpoint, all the clinical trials have read out. The drug has shown very nice efficacy, a very clean safety profile. And so we think, obviously, the FDA will have to determine if the drug is acceptable, and we'll know on October 12th, which is our PDUFA date. But in the interim period of time, if investors are willing to take some risk ahead of that PDUFA date, they should be rewarded. We also think that we'll have an advisory committee over the summer. That's a very interesting time for investors. The stock will actually be halted on that day. The advisory committee will debate the merits of the drug, and then they'll vote. And this is all held in the public for everyone to see. So we've got a product that is now shown through 4 clinical studies and has a body of evidence of use both in Europe and in the clinical studies in the US that we think the drug should be safe, it should be efficacious, and it's going to be in a very large market. And it's on us to help commercialize it. So we think this is a good opportunity. We think from a value standpoint, we've got some more catalysts to come in 2017. And, we think all things should be positive this year.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. Definitely appreciate it. And I mean, for me, I've been following the biotech space or covering the biotech space for a little over 15 years now. And AcelRx offers one of the best risk-reward profiles that I've seen. Obviously, considering your late-stage compounds, and you have, PDUFA date, you have essentially the binary coming here soon. Thank you so much, Mr. Morris, for your time today. For those of you watching this, you can ascertain more information about AcelRx on our website at www.silvacap.com. And thank you so much for viewing. Thank you again, Mr. Morris.
Thank you, Ross. Anytime.